Well, if you got a dollar on just a lousy down, you know that I got rhythm that could suit your budget fine.
So I'm still trying to keep up with my challenge issued by Kat, the Nurse Flipper, to do at least 2 videos a week. And one of the ways I have fun doing that is trying to do these new style of shop with me videos. Still not got the hang of trying to walk around filming while I'm carrying my phone. I still think I'm going to break everything. But I like the last couple I've done where I've showcased some individual items. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm at the Rustic Fox in North Aurora, Illinois. I happen to have a booth here. I don't plan on doing a video in my booth, but you never know what's going to happen. But this is, again, in North Aurora, Illinois, just off of I-88. It's open 7 days a week, and they do shipping. So if you see anything in here that you like, reach out to me or reach out to the store, and they will definitely work with you to do some shipping. Also follow them on social media, on Instagram particularly, and Facebook at Rustic Fox Home. They post several times a day. And throughout the week, you will see a wide variety of vendors. This is not only a vintage location. I tend to focus on the vintage, but they do have vintage inspired as well as sign makers and crafters and a lot of other pieces that you would see if you follow them in social media. So feel free to follow them directly. But now walk with me into the Rustic Fox and see what we find that's vintage in the store today. So some of you may know that Suzanne McLean, who's a frequent visitor in the live sale chats, also has a booth here at the Rustic Fox and doing a little showcase in her booth. Came across these cool glass bake little individual casseroles. Colors were somewhat interesting, kind of like an orangey red color, and then this bluish, kind of a teal blue color, aqua color, and then the yellow. But what I think really makes these stand out is this shape on the lid. It's got this really cool, like, crescent shape, really thin, makes it really easy to lift. There's ridges on it, so it's really easy to pick up. You can see there's a little bit of the pebble finish on the top. These are in really good condition. She's looking at $13 each for these. Really didn't really see any major chips or any issues around the glass, which is kind of amazing considering how much these would have been picked up and set down. They have the glass bake mark on the bottom, which doesn't get as much love as Pyrex or even Anchor Hocking or any of those, but this is a neat shape, and admittedly one that I've not seen before. So it's great that Suzanne put this on display at her booth, number 17 vintage, here at the Rustic Fox. In-Law Salvage was one of the booths that moved in after the Rustic Fox opened, but they made a very good name for themselves with some great vintage pieces, including this one that if I even remotely had a place for it, it'd be coming home with me. They took a antique fire extinguisher, mounted it onto a wooden platform, and then electrified it. Put the tabletop that would have come from another lamp table, I'm sure, and probably the lamp extension probably also came from that same lamp table. But then, just as a cool little twist, they took the harp and put a Poughkeepsie, a New York Fire Department vintage helmet on it. Absolutely fantastic. Just a great piece, and really an attractive price. $175 for something that you're probably not going to come across anyplace else. Just a really nice find. So I came across an interesting find at Kim's Vintage, and something that I really had not seen in Rustic Fox before. The chamber pot. And it's marked as just a pot or a planter, which probably for modern days is exactly what it would be used for. It's a fairly heavy piece, possibly ironstone. Got a little bit of a marking on the bottom. Bonita, which is Spanish for beautiful, but I don't know if there's any bearing on this. VP Co. Not sure what that necessarily means. But the reason this is distinct as a chamber pot is because it does have a handle on it, but there is no spout on the opposite side. So typically you think of any, not that you would have a pitcher this large, but if you did and you had a handle, you'd think you'd be able to pour it. And so there should be a spout to come out the other side. This one does not have one. So this would be a full-size chamber pot. Smaller ones, bedside table ones, would be called bordaloos. They'd be a lot narrower to slide into a little cubby. This is the real deal, with some nice transferware decoration on there. It actually looks in really good condition, and it's only 18 bucks. So considering this thing's probably over 100 years old, it's a really nice piece of history. As long as you're not using it as a soup tureen, you got kind of an interesting piece, whether it's a planter or not. This is for Nate from New Zealand, one of our regular viewers on a lot of the live sales and chats. Wedgewood's not particularly rare, here in the Chicago area. I come across it fairly often. Was very popular at one time and really is not necessarily lost its popularity, but certainly doesn't carry the value that it once did. But this is a really nice display of a lot of individual pieces, one of which I thought was interesting was this, I'm assuming a vase, although it's kind of an odd shape there on the top. But I don't think it's a utilitarian piece. Like, you could put your toothbrushes in there, but it's a pretty nice toothbrush holder. So a lot of the traditional Wedgewood blue, that one's got a little bit more of a gray tone to it. You've got the really, really pretty cobalt blue here in this heart dish. You've got a tea light holder. It's a little bit more modern. And then this one, I'm assuming, is still Wedgewood. It's actually in the box. Yep, there you go. Wedgewood, England. Picture frame still in the box. I am not personally familiar with all of the Wedgewood designs and pieces. This is saying white on blue boxed frame oval laurel. So relatively straightforward, just a laurel leaf. I know Nate is building his Zodiac collection. I think he's still got a couple pieces left. Doesn't look like this collection will help finish, but actually interesting, the little heart or whatever this is, she's carrying a basket, is available in both the light blue and the dark blue. Dark blue $8, and let's see what she did for the Wedgewood blue, also $8, so no differential between the two different colors. Little bell in the back, with a Christmas bell. Nope, looks like mom in a rocking chair. No, looks like, no, they're hanging stockings on the fireplace. So yes, this is actually a Christmas bell. Oh, from 1997. So that's the one thing with Wedgewood, it doesn't change much. So nice little collection here of Wedgewood at the Rustic Fox. So I don't know what this is, but it's pretty cool. Clearly for winter, because it does have the sled. There's no wheels on this. It's designed to go over ice. It has a pretty industrial chain-driven steering mechanism, and holds quite a few people. Would be lined up on there. You've got the footrest, and then you've got the sled piece in the back as well. Looks like it's chained a little bit, but one does not turn. So I'm going to assume it's just a kind of like a toboggan ride, either on the ice or down snow. And if this thing tips over, it could kill you. But it's winter in Chicago, so you need to have your fun somewhere. And here it is. For those of you who follow my channel in the past, I have an affinity for theater, do a lot of community theater. And I've stumbled across this piece here at the Rustic Fox. And see if I can zoom in here a little bit. It found this gold foil print with the quote-unquote signature of Lionel Barrymore. I did not know that was a thing. So evidently, Lionel Barrymore did do some art designs, and then back in the 40s or 50s, they were mass-produced in these gold foil designs. Now, I don't know if they were then also framed like this, or if the frame is more modern. Unfortunately, they're not particularly valuable. Obviously, it's not real gold, and they were mass-produced, but they are a very interesting to see as you tilt it, you know, how that reflection's going into the gold. Pretty distinct piece. And then you do have the signature of Lionel Barrymore. Now it does also show, you know, so you, in case you ever come across the originals, these are the copyrighted ones for the company that did it. So you've got that. But, you know, nicely framed. It's a nice, simple piece. Price tag's currently being attacked by a piece of shrubbery. You know, 29 bucks for definitely a piece that has some age, mass produced or not. Kind of an interesting item by Lionel Barrymore. So this has always been one of my favorite booths. There's always such great stuff to look at here. I wanted to highlight one particular area or one item they have on display, and that is this Fire King jadeite. It's not particularly special, it's not particularly rare, but it is clearly marked. If I can show it to you. It is clearly marked that it is Fire King ware made in the USA. So ovenware, Fire King ovenware made in the USA. The reason it's highlightable is because there is a range of this that has been reproduced, and on the bottom it literally says China or made in China. So if you just flip it over, it's easy enough to tell. But that is permeating several booths in some of the vintage stores in the area, including the Rustic Fox. So I think it's always worthwhile highlighting the legitimate vintage and just reminding people the way that you can tell. I give credit to the reproduction pieces. They are clearly marked as if they're reproduction, but if you don't know what the originals look like, you may think they were all made in China, and this one was not. So this is Fire King jadeite here on display at the Rustic Fox. So I'm going to take this sign at its word that it does work. It oscillates at 3 speeds. But this is on display at the D-Trader booth here at the Rustic Fox. This old Victor fan. A lot of people know the Victor name from our CA Victor. So it's of an Victor electric production out of Cincinnati. 110 volts, alternating current, made in Cincinnati, Ohio. So it's a cool piece, whether, you know, it's good to know that it works. It's got a cloth cord to it. I don't know if it's an original cord. Probably not. Looks like a Bakelite plug. That even if you don't want to use it as a fan, it is a very cool piece of industrial sculpture that would look great just sitting on top of a shelf or a mantelpiece. Again, having a great conversation piece in your home. So Bell and Herbies has rotated out their Christmas and brought in some great vintage for a couple different seasons. You got some St. Patrick's Day and definitely going into some Easter. But what I wanted to highlight is just this amazing collection of ephemera of these little books. And forgive me, Corey, I took the binding off of one of them because I wanted to open it up. They're not marked with the dates, but they do have the manufacturer there. So SP Company, I'll have to do some digging on that. But when you open it up, this one is filled with these little games. Show the bunny how to get to the city. How would you get to the second shoe? Take the baby kangaroo to his mother. These are adorable. Some of them have been, written in. Follow the plane to the airport. It looks like the plane already found the airport. How many circles? How many circles does the diver make? Oh, that's an interesting one. So you got the little diver there. So a couple different games on here. Clearly vintage. This really cool. There's that cream. Like really lightweight construction paper almost. Again, a couple of these, are marked, but these you'd be buying for the decor. I mean, these would look great in Easter vignette. I mean, this one's got an Easter bunny on it. A lot of them are spring colors. They're not necessarily a specific season, but I did not see these before, and these are just absolutely fantastic. And at $4 a pop, they're nothing. They cost nothing. They would weigh nothing to ship. So this is definitely an easy purchase if you want to get something from the Rustic Fox. inexpensive shipment. And they've got quite a variety here at the Belle and Herbies booth here at the Rustic Fox. So the Quirky Haven is always in the process of redoing their booth. She had a couple big pieces of furniture sell, so she's redesigning it, relaying everything out. But once again, she also has a great collection of vintage barware. So just some great cocktail glasses, martini shaker along with some of the vintage tools. This is actually fantastic cocktail mixing glass and pitcher with the original, probably original stir, and the matching low drink cups. And just, you know, a couple other just random vintage pieces. Love these little trays with the martini silhouettes. And then even a really cool, almost like a, you know, oversized ice bucket with a neat mirror in front that says "Speakeasy Open" for the Roaring 20s. Don't think it's from the 20s, probably something from the 70s, highlighting that. But you know, just a really cool piece sitting on a really cool rolling bar cart to go along with it here at the Rustic Fox. Evening has descended upon the Rustic Fox. I finished the videos, hopefully got enough to do another shop with me video. Tried to pick up a couple booths I hadn't been in before, highlighting some items that I hadn't been in before. So hope you enjoyed what you found. As with everything that I show in most of my videos, if they're from me or from another shop, most of the shops ship now, particularly during COVID. So if you're interested in anything you saw, either reach out to me or reach out to the store directly at the Rustic Fox, at Rustic Fox Home on Instagram and Facebook, and let them know you saw it on my video, and tell them what you're looking for, and they can give you a shipping quote. So thanks for joining my video. If you made it this far and you're not already a subscriber, definitely would appreciate you subscribing, giving the video a thumbs up, sharing it with any of your friends. But most important, I appreciate you giving me your time and putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. Bye-bye.
Well, show me a sign if you're wishing me to stay. Otherwise, I say goodbye, finish out the day. And that sunrise in the morning and you got nothing to say. Oh, that's when I'll be headed on my way. Hey, hey, I hope I can abide by your area codes, and I'm bound to wander down there